Once again, the overarching theme of my podcast when it comes to the physical therapy side of things rears its ugly head online, and I have to come on here and crack everybody for it. Our profession, once again, not understanding that how we present ourselves is important. Our profession, once again, not understanding what it means when we make fun of ourselves and put ourselves down as a profession, what that does to the rest of the outside world. I have to come back on here because my profession embarrassed itself once again, and I'm going to call them out for it. Hang on after the intro, and we'll talk soon. Stop defending mediocrity in our profession. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me on the podcast right here. This is the Dr. Kroll PT and Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lee Kroll, talking about all sorts of things physical therapy and fitness related. If you made it past the intro and you're already here to hear what I have to say about cracking on my profession yet again, then hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, helps out the channel greatly. But we are going to go over something I saw online. So there's a picture I'm going to post up here. Actually, I'm going to take probably the whole screen with this picture right now, and we're going to talk about this right here. It is this picture showing these set of women that are dressed very glamorously. They're probably going to some sort of a prom. I got the picture down here, so I'm looking down on my phone, but you'll see it on your screen. And then it's got in the background this unkept individual, not very glamorously dressed, wearing pajama bottoms and a Cookie Monster t-shirt and munching on what looks like probably Doritos. Doesn't look very well kept, doesn't look very glamorous. Now, the picture is not the funny thing. The funny thing is you have over the very glamorously dressed women injections, images, CBD cream and healing crystals, and then over the person who is dressed poorly and not so glamorously, you have physical therapy. And then the comment from the PT, who's probably a fine PT, a lot of letters after the name, all sorts of fun stuff, says the glamorous stuff gets the credit. And I had to comment on it because that's what I do. And of course I get the comments back like, well, you know, how we present ourselves, you know, there's different environments that we're in. Do we all have to wear a white coat? And just a bunch of nonsense defending and not really addressing the major problem. So if you've listened to my podcast for any length of time, you'll know that my major problem with the PT profession is that we devalue our product to the point where the general public and the rest of healthcare doesn't really take us seriously and doesn't hold us in the light that we feel we should be in. We feel that our education and our experience and our specialty really puts us at this level, but the rest of the general public sees us down here. And instead of looking in the mirror and saying, well, what are we not doing to present ourselves in the best light, we tend to look at the general public and the people who don't give us the respect we feel we deserve. We tend to bang on them and say that they're wrong. So I look at this picture and I see all the comments coming in, people making comments saying, oh, this is hilarious and oh, this is so true. Everybody wants injections and images and CBD cream, healing crystals, but nobody wants to try physical therapy first. And I look at that picture and I see something completely different. I look at it and I see two different sets of people, two different groups here, portraying themselves in a certain light and getting a certain type of attention depending on how they portray themselves. Take the words off the picture, just look at the picture itself. You have 6 women there dressed glamorously. There is a reason that someone is taking a picture of them. There is a reason they are posing. Looks like they're getting ready for some sort of a prom or some sort of a formal dance or whatever. Whatever the reason is, they are presenting themselves in a glamorous light. They are presenting themselves in a light where they are going to get attention, they are going to get credit, they are going to get looked at. Where you have the individual in the back who is not presenting themselves in the best of light. Has nothing to do with the potential of the individual that's got the word physical therapy over them. It's just pajama bottoms, munching on Doritos, looks unkept. They're very comfortable, they're fine just the way they are, it is what it is, but they're not glamorous. They're not dressed in a glamorous way. They're not presenting themselves in a glamorous way. Now put the words back on top of it. Injections, images, CBD cream, healing crystals versus physical therapy. And the insinuation here is that the general public wants all of that stuff because it's glamorous, but not physical therapy. And one of the things I've always said is, if we don't present ourselves in the right light, if we don't present ourselves in the right way, then the general public's perception of us is not going to be inaccurate. It's going to be true, and they're going to put us down here because that's how we're presenting ourselves. I generally believe that the general public's perception of us is overwhelmingly accurate. I hear all the time in my clinic that, oh, I've been to PT before, I can stretch on my own, I can do all that stuff. Why do I have to come to PT? Why would I pay you, especially cash? You don't take insurance. Why would I pay you cash to come see you when I can go stretch on my own? I can look up exercises just the way they do. I mean, I hear this all the time. This is not once in a while. I hear this constantly, and I know a lot of practitioners in my area. They're seeing 4 patients an hour, 5 patients an hour, cookie cutter exercise programs, bouncing around from one patient to one patient, posting online how funny it is that they put people on the news step for 10 minutes and writing little jingles about it, and how much they pick on their patients for not following their compliance with their exercise program, the cookie cutter stuff that they gave them that isn't working anyway, and always blaming everybody else for all insurance companies make us jump through all these hoops and yada yada yada, instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to present myself in a certain light. One of the things I do in my clinic, and it has nothing to do with my innate ability as a physical therapist, one of the reasons that people come to me and they pay me cash is because I present myself in a certain light. Right on my door. If you look at the door to my clinic, it says Dr. Lee Kroll right on the door. Dr. Lee Kroll, physical therapist, right on the door. If you look at my business cards, Dr. Lee Kroll, owner, physical therapist, right on the business card. I never present myself in a light that is not that way. It's not about being pious. It's not about, oh my God, I have this degree and I'm so much better than anybody else. It has nothing to do with anything. What I want my patients and clients to know is that they are coming to a professional. They are coming to someone who really knows their content, to someone who has a very high education, not just, hey, you're going to see Jennifer, you're going to see John, you're going to see Lee. No, you're going to see Dr. Smith, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Kroll, whoever. It doesn't matter. But you are going to see a professional. When I work in my inpatient environment, I work in an inpatient environment, seeing people acute care, either post-surgical or any other medical conditions. The orthopedic PAs, when they come in and we cross paths with the patients, the orthopedic PAs, when the patient asks them, what do I have to do with this and that, it's rehab-based, the ortho PAs will say, Dr. Kroll is going to take care of the rehab side of things. They address me in that light. That's the way I carry it. When I see people in the primary care wing at that same hospital, and I do this all direct access, I'm wearing the white coat. I go and introduce myself to the patient, and it is, I'm Dr. Kroll. I'm going to be seeing you today. I'm Dr. Kroll. You're going to be working with me, and we're going to take care of all this. It is always presenting myself in that light. One of the replies to the comment that I made is that, well, sometimes we have to wear scrubs, or why can't we wear t-shirts and shorts when we're working with athletes? It isn't about how you dress. It's about how you present yourself as a profession. So that comment there is looking at the profession as a whole. We're looking at the physical therapy profession as a whole and saying, why aren't we given the same respect by the general public as injections and CBD cream and healing crystals? And one of the realities is we don't spend enough time with our patients. We don't spend enough quality time with our patients. When I talk to people and say, hey, you can come see me and we're going to pay cash, people are like, whoa, I don't know if I want to pay that much. But then they'll go down the street to these charlatans who are pressing on organs and then pouring lavender on the organ, pressing on it again. Oh, that doesn't hurt as much? Okay, you need lavender. And just coincidentally enough, we stock it here on the shelf. Oh, we're going to press on your small intestine, part of your small intestine. Oh, okay, that hurts? Okay, we're going to pour this on there. peppermint oil or whatever they're going to pour on there. Press on it again. Oh, that doesn't hurt as much. Okay, you need this. And coincidentally, we sell that too. What a shock. And people will pay hundreds of dollars to go to these alternative medicines. Some of them are complete charlatans. Some of them are fine. Some of them are doing a decent job and they're trying their best to have evidence behind what they do. But the general public has no problem paying for people. They have no problem for paying for healing crystals and CBD creams and injections and trigger point stuff and all sorts of other stuff. They have no problem paying for. What they're paying for is the alternative medicine practitioner is spending the time with them. The alternative medicine practitioner is listening to their concerns. They're spending 60 minutes with them. Even if it is BS and nonsense what they're doing, they're giving the impression that they care, that they actually want the person to do better, and that they actually have an answer for what's going on. Even if it is nonsense and BS, it doesn't matter. The patient feels like, hey, this person is spending the time with me, this person is invested in me getting better, this person is not writing me off and giving me the quick shake, this person isn't bouncing from one patient to another, to another, to another, to another. This person isn't putting me on a hot pack and then walking away and doing nothing else. This person's actually spending time. This person is presenting themselves in a light as if they actually care and that what they're doing is actually useful. In the physical therapy world, overwhelmingly, we don't do that. We have them come in, they have their first session one-on-one with the PT, they get the pre-printed exercise sheet, HEP to go, VHI, whatever you use, they get the pre-printed exercise sheet, and don't tell me you don't have templates set up for anybody with shoulder impingement or low back pain or plantar fasciitis. Of course you have these templates set up. And then they go off, and the next time they come in, they're riding the bike for 10 minutes, or they're getting a hot pack for 5-10 minutes before. They get the cold pack at the end, shotgun manual therapy. The PTA maybe walks them through 1 or 2 more exercises to do. They do them semi-supervised. Everybody knows this story. When everybody tells this story, the value of PT to the general public goes down, and we end up being that person in the back of the photo in our pajama bottoms eating the Doritos, and then we have the audacity to wonder why people aren't taking us seriously, why people don't think of us as glamorous, why people won't spend money to come see a private pay practitioner. People come to see me private pay because they know they're being seen one-on-one. I'm treating the body as a whole, and I'm never charging them money to do their home exercise program semi or unsupervised. They know this going in. They know I'm only going to see them 3, maybe 4 times for their medical issue. They know that I'm going to spend the time with them. They know I'm going to reach out to them partway between visit 1 and 2 and ask how they're doing. What's going on? How are you feeling? I'm not billing for this, but they're getting that attention. They're getting that really small town feel where you feel like your practitioner cares about you. You feel like your practitioner, you're not just another spot on their calendar, that you're someone that they actually are invested in their care. You're someone that's actually thought about their home exercise program. You didn't just reach into a drawer and pull it out. You know, I actually thought about what they did. I'm actually showing the patient that we're prescribing this exercise to you because it's making a difference. You were moving with this poorly, with this much pain before. We did something. Now you're moving better. This is your home exercise. We know it works. Instead of just, hey, I got these 5 exercises here, do them 3 times a day for a minute each. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do 3 sets of exercises or 5 exercises 3 times a day for a minute each. They're not going to do that. So I have to show you that the exercise actually works. It actually makes you either move better or feel better. One of the two, usually both. And then there's your 1 or 2 exercises, and we're going to start there. Sometimes not even in the area that we're talking about. When you go to a PT, a lot of people go to PT and they're pointing at their shoulder. My shoulder hurts. Can you look at my hip? Oh, you're here for your shoulder. I can't look at your hip. You know what? You should be looking at the hip. Do you know why? Because the contralateral hip, the opposite side hip, usually has some involvement with the shoulder not doing its job. There's usually some disconnect there with the hip not doing what it's supposed to be doing, putting too much stress on the shoulder. But you go to most clinics, we're only here for your shoulder. We're going to look at your shoulder. We may do the neck. We may do a little thoracic spine. We may go down to the wrist and hand. But no, you got to be right up here. We're not doing anything else because we don't want to get denied by an insurance company. We don't want to get denied reimbursement. That's all it's about. It's not about the patient. It's about quick mill, the quick shake. Can we put this in an assembly line and get as many patients in and out of the door as possible? I look at the body as a whole. That's why people hold me in higher esteem. That's why I have a whole bunch of patients and clients who come to me and say, I'm not going anywhere else. You're stuck with me forever. You are the person I have on retainer. I have people that call me up and say, can you look at my wife? She can't come in. She can't get an appointment with her physician for a month and a half. I had another client who said, can you look at my son? He can't get in to see the podiatrist for 2 months. I looked at him. He went from pain with walking and pain at work to virtually no pain 45 minutes later. And it's not because that I'm the greatest PT of all time. My skill level is probably not much different than most of you. It has nothing to do with it. What I did was I got the person in quickly. I saw them, treated the body as a whole. They had pain in their foot. I never even worked on their foot and their pain went away because the problem wasn't anything to do with their foot directly. So I looked at the body as a whole. It wasn't just cookie cutter. Oh, you're going to roll the ice. You're going to take the bottle of water, put it in the freezer, and you're going to do the ice roll underneath your foot. You're going to do some basic calf stretching. We'll do some great toe extension. I want you to massage the bottom of your foot near the plantar fascia. Does this sound like exactly what you would do with someone who came in with symptoms resembling plantar fasciitis? If that is, you're doing your people a disservice. Look at the body as a whole. I didn't do anything with his foot. His pain went away almost immediately. 45 minutes later, it was gone. And you know what I did? I just created another patient for life right there. They're not going anywhere else. His mom sent him to me because she knows I take care of her and set her right and do right by her family. I have the whole family now. I am their family practitioner for their musculoskeletal issues. That is what happens when you present yourself and you do a good job by putting yourself in the right light. I am now held to a much higher esteem than other physical therapists in their eyes because I did the right job. I am now moved off of the back there in my pajama bottoms eating Doritos, and now I am the glamorous one because I presented myself in that right light. That's all I have to say about that. This is an overarching theme in my podcast, and I really hate when I see this stuff online, people making jokes about all this, about how we're looked at so poorly by the general public, when their next post or the post before that on Instagram was not banging on our profession for not doing our job and not putting ourselves in the right light. So take a look at that post. I put that picture up earlier. Take a look at it. Again, this is the type of stuff that puts our profession down here. If you're a PT or you're a student PT, it is your job to elevate our profession in the eyes of the public. And if that means banging on 4 to 5 patient an hour clinics, if that means not working at 4 to 5 patient an hour clinics, if that means opening up your own clinic, if that means doing the best job that you can possibly do with your people and presenting PT in the correct light, then that is your job. All right, and I will keep calling us out for not doing our job every single time. This is Dr. Lee Kroll, PT, signing off. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, and I will see you next time.